Spurs 2023 Media Day is over. What are some takeaways?
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, this is Chris Sabat, and you're listening to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
We're back right here on Locked On Spurs. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you all had a great start of your work week. We're here to talk all things Spurs. I am Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for KENS 5 San Antonio. Glad to have you back. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Make sure to subscribe at iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. We are everywhere. Hey, what are we talking about today? We're going to look back at yesterday's Spurs Media Day. What did we like? Anything interesting that was said? Who did I speak with? Who did our guest speak with? We're going to talk about that and more. Also, what was a common theme? There was a common thread with the players and coaches. We'll talk about that, as well as the Spurs made another roster move, saying bye-bye to Mr. Reggie Bullock. So, yeah, it is here. The start of the NBA Spurs season today. Training camp gets going. The Wemby era begins. And let me tell you, these guys are raring to go. I know we'll talk about this in much more detail in just a few seconds. But my impression of Media Day was simply this. No more L's. They had enough of it already. They want to move on now from that whole rebuilding phase. And I think that's a good spot. Hey, a little sneak peek. Doug McDermott will be on Locked On Spurs later on this week. You'll hear that common thread again. And I want you to keep that in mind when the season goes on, because we're going to be looking at a team that doesn't want to stay in this rebuild mode. They want to get out of that. And they're on the fast track to that. They've been doing a lot of things to speed up that process collectively right now. We'll talk about that in a few seconds. But whether it be chemistry issues, well, not issues, but, boosting the chemistry, if you will, integrating new pieces, learning from last year. There's a lot that the Spurs team is going to lean on this upcoming season. The experience that they gotten, fresh start, clean slate. But hey, at the end of the day, this team would not be surprised if they are one of the sneaky, really good teams ahead of next season. And as they progress next season as well, getting better and better and better. I feel confident about this team more so than I did in the offseason. What happened yesterday at Media Day really boosted my confidence about this team's chances at perhaps being that surprise team in the West, that Cinderella perhaps team out West. But let's go and bring in our guest. He is Casey Viera. He was there with me at Spurs Media Day 2023. Where's Casey? There's Casey. Yeah. We got him on there.
I was with you then, not with you now, but thankfully I am with you now. So there we go.
Yeah, you're back.
Bro. There we go.
You're back. We're back. Up? Yeah. Casey Viera, again, my colleague at KENS 5. Follow him on Twitter at Casey_Viera. By the way, everybody, this show could have been at Viera Manor, but scheduling got a little mixed up. But maybe next time, Casey.
Maybe next time. Maybe next Media Day. Maybe next.
I don't want to wait that long to hang out with my friend Casey.
That is true.
I don't know. And Lee as well.
Where'd he go?
There was Lee. Lee is Casey's pet dog. I met him finally. He gave me a pat down, pretty much, and said, we're good to go.
Basically, all 20 pounds of him frisked you at the door. to everyone's relief.
This was Lee Viera at Casey Manor. Sniff. Okay, I'm going back to bed. That was
we only hire top flight security in the world.
Casey was with me at Spurs Media Day. He spoke with a couple of players. I spoke with some players. But before we get into those details, overall takeaways, what did you feel about the vibe, the players from Vassell to Collins to Keldon to Wemby, Pop? What do you think the vibe was? What do you think about this team now that Media Day is all but over?
I am going to echo the sentiment that you offered about feeling a lot more optimistic about things, because I kind of left there feeling the same way. And I say that more so from the Popovich side of things as opposed to the players, because the players are going to say that no matter what.
Right.
They're going to say that no matter what. Yeah, we've been grinding. We've been working hard. We're ready to go.
Yeah.
But I really liked the Popovich side of thing because, last year he in every way, shape, or form said that this is not about winning this season. Yeah, we know that. We've come across that. This year, he said the next step in developing these guys is winning. Going to the extent that saying winning is part of the process, not only part of the process, but mandatory. He used the word mandatory with that. While that's not going to happen, it's not going to happen overnight. This is still a very young team. There's still a lot of variables that get in the way of the fact that it's really hard to turn this team into a contender, let alone a play-in team off of 22 wins last season. But for Pop to say that, to use that language, that wording that he did, it had me believing a little bit. Because if he wasn't a believer, I don't think he would go to the lengths that he went to say things like that. But the fact that he said stuff like he did, at least makes me think, okay, well, he's seeing a lot in these guys right now. This is not something that he was saying about this group almost a year ago to the day, a little over a year ago to the day. So for me, that's why I left feeling confident about this group was because of what Popovich was saying.
Yeah. A little bit more business-like out of Pop yesterday. A couple years ago, media day, he was jovial, making a joke about, hey, don't go to Vegas, putting bet on us to win the title. This is that. He felt a little bit more business yesterday. A little bit more, hey, we got something here that could be really good, but they still got to work. And one thing that he said that highlighted that for me is when he said, Wemby, and I'm paraphrasing here, Wemby is just like any other player on the roster. He still needs time to cook and develop.
Right.
So that to me set a tone for everybody. His demeanor, as far as coming to work for business, set the tone for what hopefully will be a good season for San Antonio. And even the players themselves, we'll dive into more about this in a bit. But to me, Casey, I don't know what you felt, but to me, the common thread was all about W's, no more L's. No more L's. This is about getting wins. Vassell was asked about, hey, last year you were like, hey, we're not tanking. It's all about racking up the W's. Well, tanking worked, and now he's here. But he clarified that by saying that, we want to get out of that, that mindset that it's all about winning. Your thoughts?
Yeah, and it kind of, just piggybacking off of my last sentiment with it, there was a lot of things like that we haven't heard in a long time. A lot of things that you would say, ideas, sentiments that you wouldn't say about a team that won 22 games a year ago. And when you think about it on the surface of what it is, like or I should say beyond the surface of what it is everything he's saying is kind of true. Because you got Keldon, year 5, Devin Vassell, year 4, playing for a contract extension. Who am I? Sohan's
second year.
Sohan's second year, but off a productive rookie year.
Getting Trey Jones entering the third.
Trey Jones. Trey Jones. He's up year 4 now, right?
Oh, year 4, yeah.
Jones, year 4. Zach Collins, year 3 with the team. So all those guys that they trotted out to us, the expectation kind of has to be there by default. It has to be there because it's enough okay, you play they're a young card. They're young. They're inexperienced. They do all these things. Well, at a certain point, you're not young and inexperienced anymore. Right. At a certain point, you blink, and Keldon Johnson's not a young guy of the future. Keldon Johnson is what he is. Going into a year where he's the highest paid player on the team, one of the highest paid players on the team, man. The way it'll be in the foreseeable future. So the present, or I guess the future and present kind of is now in the present, both collectively. So when you think about it more for Pop, I totally, back the fact that those expectations that he does have, whether he does in fact believe them or not, I think those were the things that you have to say, because while they're not going to, like we said, they're not going to be a title contender, there needs to be kind of a standard set here. Not that losing is, not to say that like winning is all the end all be all, because it is still going to be a product of development. It's no more of these 22 win type of deals.
No,
like tanking's done here, guys.
But
another thing, I think he's probably putting that out there too, and this is saying the quiet part out loud. How many times have we talked about this season, this 23-24 season, being a matter of seeing what works with Victor?
Right.
There is no better way to kind of set that bar, so to speak, than going out there and saying, hey, we got to, like, if you want to be here, you got to show us that you want to be here. Like, fun. Yeah, cool. We have a good time here. You know, not winning this time last year wasn't exactly paramount. We have fun. But you guys have been here long enough to know what's going on, long enough to know that, hey, we know how to play this game. We should understand things by now. And I think that's another aspect of it, the quiet part out loud type of deal. He's not going to, of course, say that, but I don't know. But point being, that was kind of a roundabout way of saying that I still feel, you know, confident in my overriding feeling after leaving yesterday.
Yeah, all the players, coaches go pop, at least, you know, feeling confident. But what other takeaways were there from Spurs Media Day? What did Doug McDermott have to tell me? What did Jeremy Soule have to say? We're going to get some more specifics right here on Locked On Spurs with Casey Viera. Hey, I want to talk to you now about Ibotta. Look, it's football season, so that means pizza, wings, maybe even some buffalo chicken dip. Hey, that sounds delicious, right? Whatever you prefer at your tailgate, get all out and get cash back on every purchase with Ibotta. Look, even the weather is getting cooler. That means it's time to stock up on your closet, you know, with some winter clothes. With Ibotta, you can get back cash on purchasing those winter clothes, gloves, hats, scarves, whatever you want to get more for the whole family. Again, got to use Ibotta. Ibotta gives you cash back on hundreds of grocery items, from produce to personal care to pantry goods to clothing. You can make sure you're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. Either link your loyalty account or upload your receipt and get your cash back. That simple. It's that easy. The average Ibotta user earns about $100 per year. That could cover the cost of an entire shopping trip, could give you that cash back that you need on that flight that you've been eyeing, or that game you're dying to go to, or that concert you want to go to, or that fancy dinner. Look, you could get that cash back and put it to some good use. Other apps give you points, not at Ibotta. You can get actual cash back to your bank account, your PayPal account, whatever, gift cards. Yeah, it works so easy. So earn that cash back on hundreds of online brands and retailers when you start with Ibotta. That includes Lowe's, Macy's, Sephora, Best Buy, and more. Download the Ibotta app right now. Use code LOCKED to start earning real cash. Just go to the App Store or the Google Play Store, download the free Ibotta app, and use code LOCKED. That's IBOTTA in the Google Play or App Store, and use code LOCKED.
Hey everybody, this is Nathan Ray Clark from Criminal Minds and Modern Family, and you are listening to Locked On Spurs, hosted by Victor Wembanyama's new best friend, Jeff Garcia.
And we're back right here on Locked On Spurs with Casey Viera. Follow him on Twitter at Casey_Viera. We are talking all things Spurs Media Day. Happened yesterday. Start of the training camp is today. We're sure we'll be discussing that and more right here on Locked On Spurs. You guys are the everydayers. We'll be discussing that and more with Doug McDermott likely tomorrow. He hopped on Locked On Spurs and hear his thoughts on Wemby and what it might do for him. Yeah, interesting. Also, who's his favorite Nickelodeon character of all time? It won't take a genius to figure out what it is if we really think about it, but he'll discuss that and more on Locked On Spurs, likely tomorrow. But right now, we're talking about takeaways from Media Day 2023. Your Spurs kicked off the season in good fashion because Wemby came out. KC, he got that black jersey on, taking photos. I've never seen a photo session for the Spurs that get mobbed by cameras everywhere. I've never seen that. Never. Not even with Manu. It was like, it's Manu back there. That's Timmy back there. The entire media section row was vacant the moment Wemby came out for his pictures. That was just crazy. Yeah, I just stood back and I was like zooming in, take a snap, zooming in, snap, because it was crazy. But hey, speaking of Wemby, one thing that I took away from it is that this team is aware that they're going to get a lot of questions about Wemby pretty much from now and moving forward. That's it. To a T, all of them say they can handle it well, that they expected, they're anticipating it, they're going to answer it the best they can. But, that's kind of like that, no pun intended, like that tall, big elephant in the room. It's him.
Tall, lanky elephant.
The tall, lanky elephant in the room is him. And when he went up for his media session, he handled it with grace. You forget that he's still a teenager. But yeah, I liked what he said. He's saying the right things, getting to know the city, getting to know his teammates. Interesting enough, I believe it was Vassell. Correct me if I'm wrong, Casey, that said that Wemby did start off a little timid in those volunteer mini camps, but finally started coming along and really asserting himself. Vassell talked about Wemby doing mind-boggling things, and for me, I think that's gonna. It's just gonna add the more excitement in the city, Spurs fans across the globe, anticipating something very special from the team. Man, sometimes I think like that bar may be set a little too high for this upcoming Spurs season and this team.
Right. I kind of feel like maybe it's because my standard wasn't particularly too high, but I feel like I kind of need to raise my bar. I feel like I left yesterday and was thinking more so that this team was closer to a play-in team than a lottery team.
Right.
And I feel, at least for me now, talking about it and thinking things through a little bit more, they might in fact be closer to a play-in team than a lottery team right now. Because there are aspects of them that certainly validate that.
Yeah.
This is a group that has been together a little while, so you have the camaraderie aspect of it. Check that box off. You got probably the rookie. Well, not probably. You have the rookie of the year favorite and Victor. Check that box off. Structured off. In terms of being a team that can be there in the postseason hunt, the play-in hunt, and get in as a 10 seed. Yeah, I think so now. I do. I really do.
Yeah, I think this team is a viable play-in candidate. I really believe that. I think this is a team that I would not be surprised that, let's just say they were, get a lower seed and advance in that play-in tournament to threaten for a 7 or 7 or 8 seed. In that format. I would not be surprised at all. Defensively, and Vassell talked about this too, that they're expecting that one area of their team to take the biggest leap forward is defensive. Now, Wemby solves a lot of that.
Right.
But Vassell is no slouch.
When you're the worst or close to the worst in every statistical category, I mean,
nowhere else was to go up. But, if that's the adage, then Wemby's going to really pull them up from the cellar, place to go up. But I could see them taking a significant jump. And again, I get it. The bar is set low, so anything is going to look better than last year. But I got high hopes for them defensively.
A significant jump would be to the middle of the pack in the league. Better than top 20. I would give you that. I'm not giving you top
15. 10. Would you give them 15?
Tops
15. Okay. Tops. All right.
But we'll see. If they're 15 as opposed to 29 and 30, they just about what they were everywhere else. That's a massive incremental lead.
Yeah. Hey, look, regardless, they're aware that the biggest issue last year one of the biggest issue was defense, and it looks like they've solved a big piece of that by just winning the lottery and then drafting who. But another takeaway,
that was Devin Vassell's wording. He was the one that brought that up.
Yeah.
He was the one. He was like, "Let's talk about the elephant in the room. We're terrible on defense." And I was like, "I don't think anybody was really coming out of their way."
I think we all knew, Devin. We all knew.
Devin's like the real pressing question in the room.
Yeah,
defense was terrible. I'm like, that wasn't the pressing question in the room, but I like the accountability. Yes,
sure, we'll take that. Yeah. I know you and I, we had a chance to talk to during the Q&A session, a couple of players. Right. For those who are wondering, Sohan did tell me he ain't abandoning the one-handed free throw shot. He's sticking with it, moving forward. What about you? I think you asked a couple questions. What did you learn?
What did I learn? I think something I learned yesterday that I didn't necessarily know going into it was how much these guys really like each other. And that's not something I say in the sense that, you know, they dislike each other. Not that I thought that they did, but you can tell that this is a group that knows that they've kind of been through the mud the past few years. That they know, especially on the Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell front. They really felt leaving yesterday more so than any other year in recent years. And I'm not entirely sure what that speaks to one way or another, because I don't think Victor necessarily provides that aspect of it. But it felt like the guys really like each other this year going into this. I think that was kind of the one thing I went in not knowing that I left feeling like I knew, or if that feeling like I now know, I guess. That makes sense. And that, in my mind, that's the type of thing that helps. That chemistry stuff helps. So much when we're on social media and so much when you're playing 2K and things like that, you're just saying, oh, we got the youth, we're growing this way or another. And you forget that, like, there's a big aspect of it and that chemistry thing, and these guys actually getting to like and know each other and grow with one another, and look at them as, you know, brothers as opposed to coworkers, which a lot of teams that do go using that they do, you know, that's what you do. You know, it's my coworker Keldon Johnson, not my buddy Keldon Johnson. Right,
exactly.
And it definitely felt more family.
It did
yesterday. As you know, I think that's more of a family feel when it came to that, as opposed to you know, we all collectively have one job to do, which is go out there and
get wins.
Get wins.
Yeah. You know, I look at media day. Sure, you know, Pop was kind of a downer to start it, saying we all say the same thing every year. All the teams are going to say the same thing. You know, oh, we're going to do well this year. It's a clean slate. Everybody's ready to go. You know, but, you know, he's right. You know, now it's time for this team to walk the walk. Wemby, it's time for you to walk the walk. Devin Vassell, are we saying about you, you know, being injury-free? Walk the walk. That too. You know, that's where I feel like we're at right now. And even though training camp started, it feels now, okay, we heard everything already by now. Let's prove it on the court. And I think this team will do it. I don't know. Did somebody wake up Keldon? He started his press conference by yawning. I guess was he excited, Casey? I mean, did he just get the notice in the morning like, hey, season starts soon?
That's what it almost kind of felt like, right?
Yeah.
He was the last of the notable guys to come out to take pictures. He just came like straggling along in.
He did.
He just yawns. There's this huge yawn. We're like,
okay.
At least I was. I'm like,
yeah. That was Casey in the morning when I met him to go to media day.
That was You know what? Listen, I shouldn't make fun because that was basically me.
Yeah, that was Casey for a good chunk of the morning. You got going though, Casey. You started waking up as the day went on.
I did.
So kudos to you.
That's that tough turnaround, man. When you anchor the night before, that's the, you know, you're anchoring before on a Sunday night. You're not getting home, going to sleep until like 12:30, and then you got Jeff Garcia knocking on your door at 8 a.m. The hell are you supposed to do?
Let Lee answer it to give me the shakedown. It'll get you an extra 10 minutes of rest.
I know.
That could have been the protocol.
Yeah.
But hey, media day is in the books, but doesn't mean you can't catch up on all things that you might have missed. As mentioned, Locked On Spurs will have Doug McDermott on this week, probably tomorrow. I know Ken's will have a couple of interviews. I believe, I think I saw Serge Jabari Rice is up.
Who's there?
Yeah, he's there on Ken's, and I think Vassell as well, right?
In some capacity, we're gonna have our colleague Nate. He sat down with Devin Vassell. He sat down with Serge Jabari Rice for the UT crowd out there.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's something that we'll have to touch base with him as to when that's out there. But
Yeah.
it is in some
Yeah.
capacity. It will be out there.
Yeah, it will. And all you got to do, everybody, is go to the Kens 5 Plus app or the Kens 5 YouTube page and subscribe to Locked On Spurs wherever you get your favorite podcast. We're not done talking.
Though. Talked about Serge Rice.
Yeah.
Interesting. And I thought this was telling because this is the same thing I felt with Dominic Barlow last year. With Serge Rice, that interview was given to us.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't go out of the way to ask for it. It was here, and Spurs PR said, hey, you want to sit down with him? And we're like, okay, cool, definitely. They did that with Dominic Barlow last year.
Okay.
And when they did that with Dominic Barlow last year, that's how I felt like, okay, this guy's going to stick around. This guy's going to be around for a little while. They like him. And Dominic was with us, and he did a great job. And fittingly enough, he's still around, still employed.
You're talking about the Kens good luck charm?
No, well, hey, I don't know about that.
Could that be? Listen, Spurs players, if you want to stick around for a while, get an interview with Kens. It might work.
Yeah, either way. If the same felt like it kind of might apply for Rice over there,
right?
Because if we talked about all the time with the Spurs, it's like so much of the team is of just how much they push you out to the people. And when they don't push you out, that's how you know something is up. When they're not getting pushed out, that's how you know, i.e. when Josh Primo was there for the Frost jersey reveal instead of DeJounte.
Yeah.
You know?
Or why a DeJounte and a Derek are not on HEB commercials or whatnot. You know, like interesting.
Or like DeMar DeRozan.
Or no.
DeRozan wasn't at the Fiesta jersey reveal.
Yeah. Or I think the number one death kiss is if you get a bobblehead.
Oh, that's weird. That's worked out in recent years, right?
Yeah, if you get if a Spurs player gets a bobblehead, you either get traded or let go. The only one surviving so far is Keldon. He's still surviving, but you never know. You never know with Keldon.
Doesn't it feel like an eternity since DeJounte was here?
It does. It was just like a year and a half ago. What was it?
A year and a half ago.
Yeah, that's it.
He was traded. He was traded in July of 22.
Yeah.
Well, like
mid-ish season, right? Like
Oh,
is that the trade?
He was the off-season.
It was the off-season. That's right.
Yeah, it was
in the off-season.
So 14 months. It feels like 14 years.
Wow. All right. Well, we're not done talking. When we get back, talk about waiving players. We'll talk about Reggie Bullock. No longer a Spur.
That's how we knew.
Yeah, that's exactly. We'll talk about him, why the Spurs perhaps made the move, and more right here on Locked On Spurs. But hey, if you need to get your day going, do something that me and Casey do every single day as best as we can. We go to Mudslingers Drive-Thru Coffee. You want to go to Mudslingers Drive-Thru Coffee right now, 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive, open every day, Monday through Monday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Go get yourself the Mudslinger signature drink, the OJ, the Orange Julius recreated, only at Mudslingers. I'm waiting for them to release the Boring, which is in honor of Casey Viera.
Your boy.
Basically, you just ask for that. If they do make it, just say, give me the same thing again. And then you go again to Mudslingers. Can I have the same thing again? And you get the same thing again. That's it. That's it. I know you're listening, Mudslingers, Thomas.
They always
make it.
Always what? Yeah. Thomas always does. I could have used Mudslingers yesterday.
You know what? Yes, you could have. And we you know what? I think we're going to use like one of the delivery services now. Like, in case we're in a pinch, we just get Casey a nice, delicious Mudslinger coffee.
It was early. I don't even know if they were at work yet.
I'm pretty sure they were at work. They're tirelessly always at work, creating new drinks every single day.
Sorry, I'm ruining the plug here. Go ahead. I'm ruining the plug here.
Yeah.
Continue. I'll be quiet.
Over 300 5-star review can't be wrong. I know Casey has that shirt. He has the tumbler. He goes there a lot. A true, faithful fan of Mudslingers Drive-Thru Coffee, as you should be as well. You can find them on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. What are the threads? I mean, they are everywhere at Mudslinger SATX. Look, dairy alternatives, the Red Bull infused lightning bolt series. That's what we should have got, Casey. That's exactly what we should have got him. That Red Bolt lightning infused drink. That would That would have just jolted Casey to life.
Yeah, I needed it.
Yeah.
I needed
Or we
it.
could have got you the alien. The alien would have worked too.
You want to know the good thing about Mudslingers?
What that?
They got a little bit for everybody.
They do.
They do. No matter your literal and figurative taste.
Yeah.
Because the alien, it's a little strong for me. It's a little strong for me. But they do the basic very well, and they do the elaborate very well.
Yes,
because,
they do.
like I said, I'm boring. I'm basic. I just like my basic cold brew, little old.
Stick to what you know. You just stick to what you know.
When it comes to coffee, that is bam, they knock it out. I'm not one for the alien crowd. There is a market for that. Enough to the point that they feel confident in telling you to sell that product. So it must be good. Everything else I've had is pretty good there.
Yeah.
Well,
they even got donuts, everybody. They have donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear that they're very, very good. They also have another drink called the Sub-Zero. That's in honor of UTSA's Frank Harris. Listen, they got a bunch of drinks, a variety of drinks each and every day. They're churning out new flavors almost daily now. 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive. That's in the Stone Oak area, 281-1604. If you're in San Antonio, go there right now. Friendly staff, great menu, dairy alternatives, Monday through Monday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can't go wrong by going to Mudslingers because life is too short for bland coffee. That's going to wrap up this episode of Locked On
Spurs. You double for that plug because maybe they pay you for like a minute. They just got like 3. So
they're very appreciative, Casey. How's that? As Casey shows off his mug collection. So I got this one for one day, and I got this one for next day, and I got this color variant for this day. Hey, so the Spurs were not done making some roster moves. I was a little surprised by this one, but the Spurs did agree to a buyout with Reggie Bullock, the 3-and-D guy. He's out of here. He's no longer a Spur. To me, Casey, that just signals that this team is still sticking to the youth movement.
Yeah, to a degree. That surprised me too. I thought he was still going to be here.
Yeah.
I thought Reggie Bullock was going to be one of the final guys to make the cut. Yeah, I did think that. Now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, we were wondering who the final cut's going to be. I didn't see Kem Birch there yesterday.
He's on the roster.
He's on the roster.
Yeah.
But forgive me, I don't think I saw him there yesterday.
Let me think. No, I don't think I saw him. Was Blake Wesley there? I didn't see him. No, he was there. Yeah, Blake Wesley was there. I mean, I don't think any of the fringe players were there. You know, like those two.
I saw just about everybody else.
Huh? Did you see? I didn't see Charles Bassey.
I saw Bassey.
He was there. Okay.
Eddie Osman was there.
Man, all right. Well,
so
hey,
just by process of elimination here, thinking about this, it's sounding at least very unofficially that Kem Birch is going to be the last cut.
Yeah, I think the roster as of this recording is 19-ish. Now, obviously, that doesn't include, the two-way players, so that doesn't count. But yeah, I think they do got to like trim it down by 1. Yeah. So yeah, Kem Birch, it was good knowing you. I don't think I ever saw him in a Spurs uniform ever. He was out.
We knew you.
We hardly knew you. I want to see the first Spurs fan to get a custom Kem Birch jersey. So we know what his number is. It's just got to look back into the archives. It's there.
What's his number? Like 26?
I don't know. Maybe it's a quick question mark if you don't know if he was a Spur. What was he? Was he really here? Yeah. That would be hilarious. That would be one of those jerseys where Casey's walking by the fan that's wearing a Kem Birch jersey, Spurs jersey. Like, I respect that. That is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah. Hey, we're done talking. We want to hear from you. What do you think about Spurs Media Day? What were your takeaways? What did you think about Pop said, or Vassell said, or Wemby said? Everybody had a lot of things to say. Also, as well, where do you think about the Spurs, or at least where do you stand with the Spurs who letting go of Reggie Bullock? Good move, bad move? We got to hear it. First off, Casey, what's going on your side of things? I know Kansas is going to be churning out a lot of Spurs content soon. You
just told them right there.
Yep.
It is. Ken's churning out a lot of Spurs content just like we're doing right now. So keep doing what you're doing at home, because if you're watching this, there's a good chance you're following a lot of our other Spurs content, which is produced by I and Tom and Vinny and Nate. So keep doing what you're doing as the viewer.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, keep on it. We're going to have a Spurs special dropping soon. Don't know when, but it will be soon. And a little sneak peek, I'll be doing Vegas odds. So we'll stick to that.
I have to reply to a couple Tom Petrini emails too, so I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, Casey will be on it. I'll be on that. Basically, everybody else is going to be on it. So look forward to that coming out very, very soon. And we thank you for making Locked On Spurs your first listen every day. You guys are the everydayers. We'll be back likely with Doug McDermott tomorrow. What did he have to say about the Spurs, the start of the new season, being part of a reconstructing franchise that he admits is still being reconstructed as we sit here, as well as what is his favorite Nickelodeon character from the 90s? Again, everybody, it's not that hard to figure out.
Yeah.
Think about it. Really think about it. And you'll be like, yeah, we know what it is. We know what it is. But for Casey Viera, I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock on this episode of Locked On Spurs.